Hey all, Heretic here with patch 26.0.2, April 14th, just dropped about 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Get some updates for Battlegrounds, Hearthstone in general, and the arena. As you know, we always prefer to talk about Battleground stuff, so let's jump in and see what we've got. First of all, we've got some hero getting armor changes. There's always a whole bunch of these in adaptions. You can take a look at the information. There's a lot of changes here and there, just a lot of little details. And we have some heroes getting less armor, so we've got more, we've got less. This is definitely going to change the meta a little bit as these go up and down, because they're going to make you decide, you know, maybe this hero isn't worth the risk. Usually the more armor is better, but we'll see how they, tune out. Some of these heroes are getting more armor are pretty bad anyways, so. Buddies updates. Buddies are getting changed. Nobody at all is shocked by that. Some of these need changing. I'm going to, say right off the bat, some of these are going to be wildly impactful, and other these are going to be tiny nudges, because that's what they do. New one here, we have Chenvala's buddy. The snow elemental has been changed from Tavern Tier 4, Tavern Tier 3. Means you can get it a little faster, which means you get elementals a little faster, which means you get to winning a little faster. Alexstrasza's buddy, Valistraza, goes from Tavern Tier 4 to Tavern Tier 3. Once again, small changes, but big if you're playing Alexstrasza. Talent Scout getting a big change, going from Tavern Tier 5 to Tavern Tier 3. ETC's buddy definitely has a little more life now. Tavern Tier 5 is pretty late in the game, and I found myself typically just ending up hanging on to this for the more impactful ones, unless you had a great buddy to begin with. Now that you're getting it a lot faster, this actually does make it pretty impactful. The stat line 4-4 on a Tavern Tier 3 is not bad, so you actually can get this and get it out there on one of those earlier buddies you get, and then get the value out of that, at least a little faster if you can find a decent one. I'm actually relatively excited about Lady Vash's buddy change. So they're going to go from Tavern Tier 2 to Tavern Tier 1. They're going to go from a 4-3 to a 3-2. This buddy feels very unimpactful. So you see the high roll videos, you see people like, oh, this can be fun. But typically when you play Lady Vash, you lose before you get to do anything fun with it. So I kind of do like this change. Getting it earlier means you get the triple version of it earlier, or at least access to the second two, depending how you're going to do your build out. Any Storm Coils buddy goes from Tavern Tier 5 to Tavern Tier 4. Not a big change, but once again, good one. Sneed's buddy, the piloted Whirlotron, which is just fun to say, went from Tavern Tier 3 to Tavern Tier 2, otherwise functionally still the exact same. Professor Putricide actually got a good change to their buddy Festergut. They removed Ticking Abomination from the pool. Now, if you don't know what that is, Ticking Abomination did 5 damage to everything on your side of the board when it died. So it made it kind of painful when you'd get this early, and then it would kick out an A-bomb, which would wipe out your board and make you lose. It definitely was not exciting. It was too much RNG, made me not enjoy it. This actually makes me consider playing them now. Next couple ones kind of feel like in our nerfs. If we look at Nightmare Ectoplasm from Mutanus, used to be Tavern Tier 3, 5-4, now it's a Tavern Tier 4, 4-3. That means it's going to take you a little longer to get. You're already taking a bunch of damage when you're doing the Mutanus trick to spit on the minions like you do. So this means you're going to be in a lot more danger if you're trying to go for it, and you have a little less stats to work with. So we might see a little less Mutanus. Captain Hooktusk, big nerf. Going from Tavern Tier 4 to Tavern Tier 5 is Raging Contender. This is one that is very impactful and very powerful in the mid to late game, especially when you get that economy value. Now it's going to take you a little longer to get that gold version. That's what really matters. Purchase Ashfallen, the Living Nightmare, also on the nerfing block here, going from Tavern Tier 2, 5-3 to a Tavern Tier 3, 6-4. This is once again going to make him a little slower to come online, but he also has a little more stats for it. Kurtrus is really powerful if you're in the right lobby and if you know how to play him, so this is a big change and probably is needed for when you run into these Kurtrus players who go completely nuts stat-wise. It's this monster that's slowly doing it, so the longer it takes them to get it, the better for your lobby. Heist Baron Togwaggle's buddy got a change, and I don't like it. Only because you'll see less people playing Togwaggle, which means less Wexadrad the Drippy. Come on, he went from Tavern Tier 4 to Tavern Tier 5, does the same exact thing, but that means we'll see less people playing him, which means we get to say the name of this card less. And let's face it, you can't say Wexadrad the Drippy enough. Sire Denathrius just got here, just showed up to the show, and his buddy, the Shady Aristocrat, is now going to stay exactly the same, but the quests will all be harder to complete for 8 gold. Now, I know some of these quests, because I have played this a couple times, were super simple to complete, but I've had some that were just like 6 turns to get 8 gold. So that makes me nervous when they say 8 more turns. Like, makes me really nervous when they say more time, more difficult to complete, because some of them I had times were very difficult to complete. So maybe they're just going to tweak the really easy ones, but please don't make them across the board harder. And folks, this is a huge change that needed to happen. If you've been playing any Battlegrounds, if you've watched any highlight videos on YouTube, Dr. Boombox has been on way too many of those highlight reels for a reason. At tier 4, 7-1, death rattle, deal 7 damage to the 2 nearest enemy minions. This is way too powerful at tier 4. They moved it to 5. Honestly, I feel like it's too powerful at 5 with this stat line, but maybe it's just because I've been burned so many times by this freaking thing. This is a good change for the game. If anything, just because it means there'll be less of him in the pool and you won't run into them super early. But that's it for the changes. That's it for the patch. It's a little update. They're just tweaking some buddies, buffing some, nerfing a couple others, and Boombox, let's face it, folks, we all know Boombox needed a big change. So happy to see all these changes. What do you think? Are you happy with where buddies are right now? I feel like personally the balance on them is pretty good. I still despise them as a mechanic and want them to go away and to have June appear with whatever the new thing is. But I do not like buddies. So anything to speed this along, to get us sooner to June, to have that new mechanic, to have the new tribe, whatever they do, and just make these things go away, to me will feel great. I know buddies aren't nearly as bad as they used to be, but that's not saying much. It's still something I don't want. It's still not enjoyable to me. What do you think? Are you happy where everything is right now? Thanks for watching. I hope you had a good time. Please leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Catch you next time. Later.